Good evening. Welcome to Connecticut at Your Service, and I am your host, Sandra Carmichael. We come to you live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. here at the Soundview Community Media in Stratford, Connecticut. And this evening, I have a special guest with us who's no stranger to the community, Mr. Mike Rohr, who's an entrepreneur as well as the president of the Entrepreneurship Foundation. So how are you today, Mike?
I'm great, Sandra. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So Mike was with us last week, for those of you that were not here visiting us last week. And Mike is just going to go through some key points again to get you ready for your competition and/or pitch, and just tell you the points that you need to know in order to win this pitch and win some monies. So take it away, Mike.
Well, thanks, Sandra. We talked about this last time I was here. We announced a $50,000 Bridgeport Business Challenge for residents and members of the community here in Bridgeport. So we have a fund set aside for people who want to start a new business, as well as those who are already in business who are looking for capital to grow that business. We have a slide that has all the dates that we'll bring up later, and has a URL there where you can find all the details and information about that. Mm-hmm. But please take advantage of this, because this is what we call non-dilutive. That is, mm-hmm. You don't have to give up anything. You don't have to pay this money back. They're pure grants. You don't have to give up any of the stock or shares in your company. Mm-hmm. So this is coming from the city of Bridgeport to help local residents and established companies get off the ground with their new business, if they have one already, to take it to the next level.
So speaking of, the city of Bridgeport, who's supporting what you're doing, and we greatly appreciate it. So some of the things I remember from our conversation from last week, you talked about the importance of the application and what that looks like when you're submitting your application. So you talked about 8 words max, am I correct?
It's good to have a quick elevator pitch when you're talking about your business, but yes, that's one of the questions. Mm-hmm. You can see on your screen where you can go to find the application for that the competition. Mm-hmm. But as a general rule, if you're talking to somebody about your business that you hope is going to invest in it, you don't want to get into a long-winded conversation. Give them like a 8-word description. Mm-hmm. Give them something to sort of hang the follow-up detail on, like a headline in a newspaper, something that's going to grab their attention and pique their curiosity, so they ask you more questions about it.
So another thing that stood out for me last week was, can anybody apply for this grant, or is it specific for the city of Bridgeport residents only?
It's Bridgeport city funding, so okay. There has to be some connection to Bridgeport. Could be somebody who's a resident of Bridgeport, mm-hmm. or not a resident of Bridgeport, but the business is located in Bridgeport. Okay. Or a student who's attending a college or a university or high school in Bridgeport. Okay, and does that business or that individual need to be certified through the city of Bridgeport or through the state of Connecticut? If they're an established business, yes, the city of Bridgeport needs to certify, validate that you are indeed, your business is located in Bridgeport. And on the website that you see on the bottom of your screen, there's a link to that application for the city. And by the way, this will connect you with other programs for small minority businesses through the city of Bridgeport. You'll mm-hmm. be on their mailing list. And they had just this last week, there was a free session on financial literacy and financing your business, and they always have something going on, free programs for entrepreneurs in the city of Bridgeport, and other programs that you'll be alerted about.
So can we bring up that slide so we can just recap with the dates to make sure that they all have these dates and have everything in line to be able to
There it is. Those are the key dates. We're having a training session at Housatonic Community College in Bridgeport on the 26th. That'll be at 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. Then the application is due on November 30th. So you'll have plenty of time to work on it. And finally, the finals will be on December 8th, also at Housatonic Community College, starting at 4:30 p.m. If you make the finals, we'll send you a reminder and directions and so forth.
So I have another question. So it says $50,000. Is that the grandiose prize, or is that being split up amongst others within the 50,000 pot?
Good question. It's a total prize pool of $50,000, of which half is reserved for pure startups, someone just with an idea, and the other half for growth grants for established businesses.
Okay. So in other words, that 50,000 would not be just for one person. It would be split up amongst
Yes.
a few winners?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
So prizes might range between $500 and $15,000.
Okay, great. So is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers as far as this great opportunity for startup, or if you're already in business?
Well, as I said, just check out, there's a lot of details here. It's a competition, the rules and so forth, plus there's the application, and take a look at it in advance. Make sure you're eligible. It's got a link at the bottom of the page. Download the application. Give yourself some time to think about it. Share your answers with other people, friends and teachers, relatives, anybody that you know is already in business. Give you some feedback on it. Entrepreneurs like to help other entrepreneurs.
Correct.
So give yourself plenty of time to do this.
Okay, thank you so much. So how long have you been doing this work?
Oh, longer than I care to remember. I have I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I've been doing this myself about 40 years.
Okay.
That I have been sort of self-sufficient, if you will, running my own businesses,
Okay.
which it's not for everyone.
Okay.
But
Yes.
I think it's the purest form of freedom that there is. You're doing what you want to do and helping other people. Entrepreneur solves problems, that's what it's all about, and secondly, providing job opportunities for other people.
Correct.
It's for a rewarding career.
I truly attest to that. So since you've been in entrepreneurship for a long time, do you have any top 5 business tips? Because I have a few that I would like to share, but I wanted to open it up to you to see if you have any that you would like to share.
Well, we'll debate them. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I would say number one is do what you love. You know, do what you're passionate about. What gets you up, in the morning? What piques your curiosity? Because an entrepreneur has the toughest boss. You're going to have to work at this. You can't necessarily just quit at 5 o'clock. You can't call in sick. Who are you going to call? You're the boss.
Yes.
You have to, and there's going to be, some difficult moments. The buck stops with you.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something that you just can't wait to get to every day. So. What do you like? What are your hobbies? What are you interested in? Do you like sports, food, music? Find something around what you love to do. That's most important. And the rest of it is a little easier, if you're doing something that you like to do and it's not really, you don't feel that it's work.
Correct.
Secondly, I'll give you 2 and then maybe you can throw in 1.
Sure.
Start saving for your business idea now. Like you would save to buy a car or a home or take a vacation. Create a separate business account and salt that money away. Save $5 or $50 a week, whatever you can, and put it in that business account in the name of the business. And then don't touch it. Forget about it.
Yes.
Because that's the money that you're saving up for your dream.
Well, thank you for that. So I'm going to share with two from my
Okay.
top 5 list, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I always believe in talking to those who have done what you are doing, because they can speak to that more clearly than
Good idea.
anyone else and can help you if you need any help. So that's my first key point. And also build relationships both professionally and personal, because that builds a whole nother level of confidence, as well as the networking piece of it really helps you down the road and opens up the opportunity of mentorship.
That's a really good point, Sandra. I love that your idea of talk to other people who've done it. As I said, entrepreneurs like to help other entrepreneurs. We're sort of a fraternity. So let's say you want to open up a donut shop. So drive to some nearby towns where you won't be competing with that donut shop.
Correct.
And just, check them out. And go in and talk to the owner and say, what's it like? I'm interested in opening a donut shop. Not across the street, in another town. Any advice you have for me? And they will usually, be quite willing to offer that.
I have a quick question. Do you recommend, if you're interested in doing a certain business and not quite ready yet, but still want to understand the A to Z as far as how to run that particular business,
Right.
do you recommend going to work for a business that's similar?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, I'd like to start a restaurant. I need $500,000. Where can I get that? So my first question is, well, where are you a chef now? Well, I'm not. Well, what cooking schools have you graduated from? Well, I really haven't, Are you a waiter anywhere? No. Well, you've got to learn the business. And the best way to learn the business is like that donut shop. Go to work for the donut shop. Go to work for a restaurant. Learn every aspect, back of the house, front of the house, cooking, finance. If you're working at a restaurant and you're a cook there, ask to help with the books so you can learn. Offer to do it for free, on your own time so you can learn from the inside out. It's a great idea.
Yes. And also, do you recommend volunteering?
Yeah,
paying it
same
forward?
thing.
Okay.
As I said, sure, if you can, anything you can do to get experience and training in a business you want to start. I mean, not only you have to pay for this, so, great if somebody will pay you while you're learning, but if you're volunteering, at least you're not paying for the training.
Correct. Yeah. So great response.
idea.
I really appreciate that, and I'm sure our viewers also does as well. So anything else you want to include in our segment this evening? As do you feel like you've left anything out that you feel like you need to share?
Or in our top 5. Okay. Well, I had 2, so I'll give you another one, and you had 2. I would say not only learn about your business, the business that you want to start by talking to other entrepreneurs in that industry, or volunteering, or going to work for another business, but find out about the competition too, because they have an impact on your success. And you want to find out where in the industry, in the marketplace, that there might be a niche, there might be a place where you can sort of gain a beachhead, fit in without necessarily bumping up head on against a lot of other competitors. For example, it's one of the things that we look at. I invest in other businesses, and so we look at how many other competitors there might be and how strong they are. And so do an analysis, and I know I'm asking you to search for things you hope you don't find. You're going to go out and find all the competitors there are to your idea. And if there aren't specific direct competitors where you're located, there's still alternatives. If you're opening up a donut shop, okay. There might not be another donut shop in that town, but there are other places that people could go for a treat, ice cream parlors and so forth. Find out what's out there.
So I'm going to interrupt because we have a caller calling in that have a question, I'm assuming. So we're going to see who's on the line. Good evening. This is Connecticut at your service. This is Sandra, your host. How can I help you?
Hi, Sandra. This is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Hi, Crystal.
I'm good, thank you.
So with me in the room, I have Mike Rohr here, who's our guest, special guest this evening. So say hello to Mike.
Hello.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
So do you have a question for us? The reason why you're calling in today?
Yes, I do, and thank you for taking the call.
Oh, you're welcome.
My question is, I'd like to preface it with I know a lot of people in the business community, and I wanted to know when you're establishing your business, how do you determine which relationships are most impactful that line up with your plans for your business? Is there a way to determine which relationships will be more impactful than another?
Good question, and a good point. When you're running a business, you need a lot of skills, and it's difficult. We never believe as investors that one person can have all the skills you need to run a business successfully. You need to understand, the product. As I mentioned, the person who wants to start a restaurant, well, you better know how to cook, okay? Yes. But nobody can know everything. You could be a great chef, the world's greatest cook, but you may not therefore be the best person at keeping books, or you may not be really good at marketing and getting people in the house. So when you're talking about those relationships, so be very honest with yourself and write it down. Well, what are you really good at, what you could cover in the business, and then what really aren't your strengths. Be honest with yourself. And so maybe you don't like to sell, maybe you don't like to marketing. So align yourself with people who are good at marketing to get people into your restaurant, to write those ads, to do the flyers, to do the social media marketing, to advertise your restaurant. Now, not everybody has to be on the payroll. For example, you could create an advisory board for your business. Somebody, maybe there's a lawyer, a friend or member of the family that could advise you on sort of legal questions like that. So the more of those bases you could cover, the more likely it is you're going to be successful, and the more likely a bank will lend you funds when you're ready to grow that business. They're going to ask that, do you have all those relationships? Do you have somebody who really good at keeping the books? Do you have somebody who really understands how to make your product or service? And do you have somebody who knows how to sell it?
Is that helpful, Crystal?
Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. But I also want to add to that. So always remember those professionals that are already in your circle, right? Like your doctors, your lawyers, and the list just goes on and on and on. So always have those conversations with those individuals, because you just never know what will become of those conversations and what type of answers you might get.
Good advice.
Okay. Thank you both. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome, and thanks for calling in.
Never hesitate to ask for help.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Crystal.
So that was a great question.
Yep.
And I've always learned and have heard from being in other circles with other like-minded people, to always remember who's in your circle and or who you're already connected to, and don't be afraid to ask any questions, because I've found that individuals that are professionally doing the work and and successful in what they're doing, they don't mind sharing, they don't mind helping, they don't mind answering your questions.
Good point. We should probably mention how you find those circles. Yeah. I would join, if your business is local. We've been talking about donut shops and restaurants, so it's typically local. Join a chamber of commerce, where you live, or a trade association. Oh,
well, it looks like we have another call coming in, so let's see who's calling. Good evening and welcome to Connecticut at your service. This is Sandra Carmichael, your host. How can I help you?
Hi, I was looking to call in for the show that's going on right now.
This is Connecticut at your service. How can we help you?
2, 3. Sorry, what is this again?
This is Connecticut at your service. We have Mike Rohr, who's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I was looking to call in.
Yep.
Okay, so how can we help you?
I was going to ask a question.
So first of all, who are we talking to?
So this is Raphael.
Hi, Raphael.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm watching live, so I'm absolutely confusing myself. I'm so sorry.
So,
Raphael.
so what is your?
I have a question for Mike.
Okay,
Sure.
go ahead.
Shoot.
Yeah, so Mike, well, first I wanted to give some gratitude because you've helped a lot of the community, especially me. So a little call to action to any
Okay.
entrepreneurs in the area, come to the Emporium. Mike is really helping small entrepreneurs. He's putting up products, especially even me. I'm working at the Emporium, doing a lot of collaborations with Mike.
Okay.
So I just want to express my gratitude first and foremost.
Well, it's
Awesome.
a good point. We're talking about, who you can talk to get advice and connect. You can talk to me, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm at the
Yeah.
Emporium in downtown Bridgeport. We're there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday afternoon. You want to come by, just talk about your idea? Come on by and talk to Ralph.
Go straight to him, right to the source.
Awesome. Thanks
So-
for that
so
plug.
what was your question?
Yeah, so my question, and this, I guess this is regarding my own personal experience in my business, and a question I've really been struggling with a while is when do you go all in? Because for me, I'm a full-time student,
Right.
and I have my own part-time job, but I'm always thinking, at what point, when do I know when it's time to really commit to the business, to really, put things down and focus on it, because I know when I do it, it's going to be hard to go back from that.
Exactly. That's a really good question, Raphael. If you go out too early, I talk about, catching the wave. Like if you're surfing and you go out too early, you'll get swamped or too late. And you don't want to too late, you miss it. So there are good points in one's life that are, opportune times to start a business. And I think that when you're a student, it's a good time to, to start before you have a lot of obligations. Before you have, family and a mortgage and your children of your own. That's a good opportunity because you don't have a lot of other demands for your time and your limited funds. Also, after you're well established in a career and the house is paid for, almost paid for, and the kids are out of school, that's another good time. So you see a lot of people who start businesses around, go all in, if you will, age 45, 50, or, like Bill Gates, 18. But from the standpoint of when the business feels right, which is probably more what you were getting at, I would wait until it's profitable or break even.
For sure.
One advisor to me said you should make money in every quarter. You can't. I think it's a mistake to say, "Oh, my business is losing money, so if I only did this full time, then I could make money at it." Don't quit the day job. That's my first bit of advice I always give people. Even if you're working 100 hours a week, you're working at a job 40 hours a week, and you're working at your business 60 hours a week, that's better than working at your business 100 hours a week and not being able to pay the rent. So I think you'll know, Raphael, from that standpoint, if you're covering all your expenses and you've got enough to live on, that's probably the time to go all in, meaning quitting the day job. Because, there's nothing wrong with having this nice side hustle that you maybe make $10,000, $20,000 a year on. That's great. You got another job that you might not love like your side hustle, but it pays the rent, And then, your side hustle can grow and you're not going to, be in a high anxiety situation because, you're always going to have food on the table and you can pay your personal rent. And then just keep growing it gradually on the side. And at some point, you'll see, hey, this continues to grow by 10, 20% a year. You'll know. You know when it's ready.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess it's, it's just a matter of time is when I make the call, but definitely not right now.
Be patient.
Because, right now, for instance, sometimes I'll have months where I'm like, you know what, I could live off this. And then I'll have months that are totally
Great.
dead. And that might be a consequence of the business being so young. So definitely when I reach a point where I feel like you said, where it's profitable on a consistent
On a consistent basis, yes, exactly. You've got it, right.
But Raphael, you also mentioned that you're in school full time?
Yes.
And when are you going to be wrapping up with school?
Well, that's complicated. Hopefully by, next year, but, do I want to get my, just my bachelor's? Do I want to go MD, this and that? And it's like, sometimes I feel like maybe I just cut it off early because, frankly, I'm more passionate about the business than school.
Okay. So with that being said, Mike talked about, networking and the hustle and the grind of it all. Just continue to do that. You're around students, not sure exactly what your business idea is, but don't not take advantage of the students that you're in school with, as well as your professors that you have in front of the classroom, right? Make sure you're talking. Make sure you're talking about your business.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know if you're familiar with the Work Center at Housatonic.
Yes.
I think that is the perfect place to do that. I actually go there quite often. So another sort of call to action to any students in Bridgeport, or really any community members, should go to the Work Center too. And Mike was actually the former director, so he would know.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in. We're gonna
Good advice you gave on this advice show.
Yes, and thanks for calling in and giving Mike his flowers while he's still with us.
Thanks for the advice. Yep.
That was really nice of you.
Of course.
Thanks, Raphael.
Well, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
That was interesting. I mean, we can learn. Everybody is a mentor. Everybody knows something that not everybody else knows. So you're right.
So we want to wrap it up. So do you want to go back to your slide as reminders with the dates again?
Okay. So you see at the bottom of your screen, again, back to the bottom of the screen, the website where you can find all the information about the Bridgeport Business Challenge. And by the way, we did this once before in 2021, and there are a number of successful current businesses in Bridgeport that went through that and raised some money. Vera Coffee Skateboard, which is a sort of a fixture now in colorful Bridgeport, downtown across from the post office. They got their money to get started from the Bridgeport Business Challenge, so we hope you will too.
So tell us, how are you feeling after having, part one and part two? Give us one word as far as how you feeling today, and especially after Raphael just called in and gave you your flowers.
Oh, well, it's great to see the drive and the passion of people in Bridgeport. And this is what we need, to keep our economy strong. We need young people like Raphael and Crystal to come up with business ideas and have the courage to try them out and to involve their friends and other people to help make those businesses go.
And I just want to say thank you again for joining us, and thank you to our viewers for coming to join us this evening, and have a great evening. Remember to listen to your customers and their needs. Thank you.
Here. Thank you.